Our guest today is someone that I'm really excited to speak with. And I'm excited to also learn from her journey, how she started, the lessons she's learned along the ways, and most importantly, one or two tips or lessons or guides, that she'll have for you all. So it's my pleasure today to welcome and introduce to the April MentorMe session, which is a group mentoring session for our participants from across Africa. Her name is Femi Oyedipe, and she is the CEO and founder and co-founder of Loshes Chocolate. Loshes Chocolate was birthed in 2015, and let's even talk about her experience. Yeah, she has a wealth of experience in biochemistry, in human resources, client relations, and business management. She owns the expertise to fully manage the day-to-day business operations of her organization's key assets, that's its employees and its clients. She's lived and worked in different parts of the world, and she's honed the craft of design and the aesthetic management and understands excellent customer service delivery, and understands what customer service delivery entails. She's highly creative with a knack for quality management and brand projection, as you can see with Luscious Chocolate. Since 2016, Loshes Chocolate has experienced significant growth and acceptance amongst the local and international communities. Luscious Chocolate's products are spread across local, unique, high-end stores and at the international duty-free, which further with further plans to expand into other international markets. She's achieved certifications in the art of being to bar processing of chocolates from Ligamo in Italy. She also holds a master's degree from Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen and a Bachelor of Science degree in biochemistry. Femi is a firm believer of wellness, organic and clean label foods, sustainability, capability development of local resources, and environmental consciousness. By 2023, Femi plans to drive Luscious Chocolates operations towards green production thinking, and circular environment whereby waste generated is recycled for energy generation, vertical planting, and animal feeds. So ladies, it is my pleasure to welcome Femi Oyedipe, who will be, engaging with us today. Thank you, Femi. Woo! Isn't she lovely? Thank you,
Nice to be
Femi.
here.
It's
Good to have to be here and to share with everyone. Thank you for the introduction as well. It was very, yenge.
All right. And ladies, one of the things I love most about Femi is the fact that she's really down to earth. So she's not going to come to give you any fuss. She's going to tell you as it is and how her journey has been. But let me start before I even start asking the questions. Who is Femi Oyedipe? Beyond what we have in the profile, beyond what we see in the newspapers and all the international media, who really is Femi Oyedipe?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So I will put it in. Femi is a mother of two, a wife, a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, and an entrepreneur who has decided um, to challenge a norm in Nigeria. That's pretty much what Femi is about. Um, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. So talk us through, your journey, how Luscious Chocolate started. I know we watched this in the video that was sent to participants, but we'd just like to hear from you, right? I mean, first and foremost, you're a graduate of biochemistry, career in human resources. You know, how did you arrive at the decision to channel this entrepreneurial drive into the relatively uncharted waters of chocolate making in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole? And why chocolate?
Yeah. Thank you, Shay. So that question is, I'm going to be very real on this call because I believe that everybody on this call um, So I'm here to, not to sound like as if I'm an expert, but I'm going to share with you my journey. And in the process of sharing my journey, then you could learn a couple of things, as I speak. So first of all, I'm not typically wired to be an entrepreneur. I'm more of a 9 to 5 person where there's a bit of structure. Because as an entrepreneur, the honest truth is that there is really no laid down structure for you. So you're going to be juggling a lot of things. You're going to be you're going to have to be open-minded and flexible, even though you have a dream and a focus that you have to keep to. So let me just clarify that. So you can imagine how it was like for me, to have to evolve into that sort of role, that sort of position, that sort of lifestyle. Because entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's going to change everything concerning your life, how you look, how you speak, how you think, because we're all aware in Nigeria how volatile the environment is. So there's no structure really to work with. And then if you're even going into something that has not necessarily been done, so there's no precedence to follow per se, in this climb, so you are going to have to, remold, learn and unlearn things. Do you understand? So how I got into it was, to be honest, I'm a Christian, so I will put it as the Holy Spirit dropped it in my heart, in my husband's heart. And then he told me, because at that time, I was in a position where I couldn't see what I wanted to do. I was unfulfilled. Having done biochemistry and then done a master's in the UK, came back, I was an HR manager in a good organization. Yeah, a lot of people calling me ma, carrying my bag, but still, I was still just not satisfied with what I was getting. I felt I could do more. I felt I could make a difference. I felt, there was something else I should be doing. So I felt very restless in that sense. Do you understand? And at that point, when you're restless, the truth is that you cannot see road. When you're restless, you need to be calm. You need to be calm. You cannot be all over the place. Your mind, your thoughts cannot be all over the place if you want to build something. So I was all over the place, in my heart, in my mind. Yes, I'd worked a bit with chocolate, but not on this sort of level. I was using already made chocolate, and I used to just create a few things and have fun whilst I was working, but it's not the same when you're going into it full time. And so when the thought came, and my husband told me, Femi, why don't you do this? I was like, I will now leave my 9 to 5 job and be saying I'm making, I'm confused, and this was 2015. I finished school 2000 and was it 5, yeah. So this is like 10 years after that. I will just carry myself and say, oh, I'm forgetting all the stress I've been through, everything, to start on a journey that I don't even have a clue about. But that's what I did. So I started researching, first of all. Okay, what is this chocolate thing about? What's the main ingredient for chocolate? It's cocoa. Okay, where can I source cocoa from? Do you understand? And that's how the journey began. It was a struggle. I'm being honest with you, and I'm sharing with ladies here, to accept that probably this was my journey towards fulfillment. It was a struggle because I was living certainty for uncertainty. But even in that certainty, I realized that I was dissatisfied still. So I was at that point, ready to take that plunge, that, you know what, I'm going to do this, because I was dissatisfied anyways. Do you understand? It's not as if I was not getting paid well and all, but I just felt that there was more to this. I could do more. I felt I didn't have as much impact that I wanted to, achieve, wanted to give, so, and then I started researching, and then that's how my journey began.
Thank you, Femi. And I want to ask a question, and the question just come into my head because I can just imagine me. Okay, I mean, I don't like chocolate for some strange reasons. I'm not a sweet tooth, right? And then then just imagine, my husband coming to tell me, look, chocolate is the way. Can you explain how did you move from you can't be serious to okay, I'm going to go into this? Because that is a journey that would help someone here.
Yes. So like let me expatiate on that. So I made it brief. So obviously he saw his wife, restless, dissatisfied, and totally just, going with the motion. Sometimes in life, we just go with the motion, live day to day, but we're not really necessarily, happy per se. So he saw that, and then he started praying for me because I couldn't even pray. I could pray concerning other things, but that aspect of my life, I just felt, no, I'm not praying about this. Do you get? I'll figure it out somehow. Do you understand? But he was like, no. So he was praying for me. And then when that drops in his heart, even he had not as if he had even seen it before or nothing. Do you understand? But he just dropped and he shared it with me. And I just felt, what is this guy talking about? So a lesson probably to learn from that is that I don't know who is on this call, what religion we all are practicing, but the truth is that there's a greater faith out there. There's a greater force out there. So you need to be able to channel your spirituality to your physicality. Do you understand? You need to be able to channel it such that, I read a book called The Secret. You need to be able to channel the spirituality to your physicality so that you are in sync with yourself as a human being, because you're not only a physical person. So I think that's what happened, and then I decided that, what, let me explore this. I started research. I didn't just jump into it I didn't just leave my job and then resign and then no. Oh, it took me like over a year before I actually, went into it. So yes, okay. So that's how I think, yes.
Okay, so what formal and informal business, because I mean, beyond just making chocolate, so you shared with us how so what were your fears, as you started, what were your fears and how did you overcome those fears?
So my initial fear was the fear of, obviously I was going to take a risk. I was moving from certainty to uncertainty. Certainty of the fact that, I was a manager somewhere and I was not doing badly. Do you understand? I was earning well, everything, to something that I couldn't, guarantee, okay, I'm going to earn this amount of money from it. I'm going to make this amount of money from it. Even though I'd done my research and all. And by the way, all the research I made at that point just showed a lot of people failing at it. So I had no positive data to work with. Do you understand? In fact, I remember I spoke to a person. I'm not going to mention the person because there's no need. And the person told me that Nigerians, they don't eat chocolate, or Africa, they don't eat chocolate. You're going to fail. You're going to fail woefully. The person told me to my face, oh yes. And even loved ones told me that you must be really crazy to want to do this, because leave your career to do this. Are you sure? But I just felt I had a conviction in me. And then too, with my R&D, I began to research that, look, it's true. Most of our cocoa that we produce, we export it in its raw form. And then we import ready-made chocolate. How can we be doing that as a nation? How can we be doing that as a continent? Do you know, so for me, I saw more of I can add value. This is where I can play in and I can make that sort of impact that I'm looking for. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. So it was not just because you wanted to make money,
So
you wanted to add impact, right? You wanted to impact on the continent.
no, that's yeah. So that is, so you need to, you're going to make money, definitely. But the truth is that if you're solely going into business, particularly entrepreneurship, and you're solely going into it because you want to make money, the truth is that you're going to make money, but there are going to be the time for sowing. If your drive is really because of money only, predominantly, then don't go into entrepreneurship as such. Do you understand? Go into something that will not necessarily test you. Because there's a time for sowing in any entrepreneurial journey. Any entrepreneurial journey, there's a time for sowing. And that time for sowing, yes, you'll be making money, but you're going to put in the money into the business. Do you understand? To grow it. Do you understand? Aside even growing the business, okay, yeah, you will get access to grants, access to loans, but because you're growing something from scratch, do you understand? As an entrepreneur, you're going to have to give it a lot of your time, a lot of effort, a lot of work. And if you're not getting the commensurate returns in terms of money, you would give up early. You would quit early. So I always tell people, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're not going to eat solely to make money. You have your why has to be something else, has to be more convincing to yourself, not to anybody, but to yourself. That, okay, what is this thing I want to do? Do you understand? What is this venture I want to go into? Why am I going into it? You need to be clear and let your why, is that why that will be the driving force to push you beyond even your limit, beyond your fear, beyond your worries, beyond all those things that may limit you in some way. Do you understand? And once that why is strong, it would most definitely keep you, focused into the business. Because trust me, there's no entrepreneur, even Elon Musk, if you follow his journey, do you understand? And Bezos, you see that they had some sort of leverage, particularly Bezos, but if their why wasn't strong, because the time he was not making money. So if you are solely in because of money, then you can't be an entrepreneur. That's the truth. It's just the honest truth. Because the time for sowing is going to come. The time where even all the money you're making, you're going to put it back in. Do you understand? Yeah, and there's sometimes that challenges will come that even the business may suffer some losses. Do you understand? A lot of people have this notion that as an entrepreneur, oh, yeah, you're your own boss. Let me bust that bubble. Let me bust it now. You have other bosses. Your number one boss is the business itself. Your number one boss is the business itself. It dictates the next move you're going to make, the next venture you're going to. Do you understand? The next boss is all the government agencies, regulations, everything. Third boss is your customers and your staff. So trust me, you are at the end of the food chain when it comes to this journey. You think, oh, yes, your time is a bit flexible, you can work things around, but you're not, you answer to a lot of other things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this journey, so it makes you learn and unlearn a lot of things,
Thank you for that, Femi. And I like the fact, ladies, if you notice, all our facilitators, all our masterclass facilitators, and all our MentorMe guests have said one thing. All of them say the same thing. You must know your why, because your why will drive everything else that you will do. It will determine, it will lift you up in those days when and like Sherlyn said, There definitely will be bad days. There'll be some days where you think, you're definitely losing your mind. So there'll be really, really, really bad days. And every entrepreneur that has come on this platform has said this. So ladies, let's get ready. But let's most importantly focus on our why. We need to articulate and focus on our why. Now, thanks, Femi. I mean, you've given advice to entrepreneurs generally, and from what I've seen in the chat and also on the YouTube chats that are coming in, there are quite one or two people who are also interested in the chocolate industry. They also want to, you've been like a pace setter. You blaze the trail for them, and now they want to follow in your footsteps. What advice would you have for them, specific to chocolate making in Africa?
So first of all, yeah, yes, in chocolates in Africa. First of all, you need to once you're about to start, define what sort of chocolate, because in the chocolate making business, there are a lot of things you can go into. Do you understand? You can decide that, oh, I want to just own farms and export it, or to countries. Or you can decide that, okay, I want to do what you call cocoa processing, where you get the beans, you understand, you remove it from the husk, and then you sell off like the nibs, the cocoa butter, do you understand? And then you sell it to customers. So you have to know the areas you want to work in. Also, you can go the long haul and say, you know what, I want to make the chocolate itself, and then decide what type of chocolate you want to make. You can choose, oh, I want to make compound chocolate. Oh, I want to make covetous. Oh, I just want to make baking chocolate blocks for bakers. I want to cater to the baking industry. Oh no, I want to cater to individual consumers such that I'm able to create a product as a snack, which is chocolate bars. So you need to know. So they have to do a lot of research on your own and know the area you feel, you're convinced you function in best, vis-a-vis the environment, vis-a-vis your target audience. Do you understand? So based on that, that would now determine, what sort of equipment you're going to be having to get, what sort of knowledge you're going to have to acquire in that area, what sort of market intelligence you're going to have to get, because if you choose to do it all, do you understand? Do all of that, where you're exporting, you have a farm, you're exporting cocoa, you are doing this. There's no problem. You can do that. But just try as much as possible to phase it. Do you understand? Like phase, like, okay, my first year, my first 2-3 years, then we grow into this, then we grow into, and then ultimately maybe own our farms. Do you understand? If you try to do all of that from inception, you may experience a burnout.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Do you understand? Where no angle of the business is actually growing, because it takes a lot of work. Do you understand? To achieve, all of that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do. Or we do.
Yeah.
All right. So moving out of chocolate, now let's talk about mentors, right? Do you have mentors? And if you do, can you share what has influenced your choice of mentors? How did you, I mean, what are the things you looked out for when choosing your mentors, and how have they contributed to the growth of your business?
So yes. So I have a mentor. He's he's in manufacturing, but he has gone into public service now. He's been doing it for 35 years factory. And when I first started, oh, my business plan, oh, 1 billion naira to set up my factory. I wrote it. I was walking around looking for people to give me 1 billion naira. Hello? Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry, I went off for a second.
Okay. So I was looking for, so initially when I first started, I wrote a business plan that I was going to raise 1 billion naira, to. So I remember when I showed him, he was like, what? with no, you know, you don't have precedence. Nobody knows you. Who will give you 1 billion? Are you a joker? You know, that kind of thing. You better go and start from wherever you are and start small from wherever you are.
Hi, did you say 1 billion or 1 million?
1 billion. You know, I had the kind of I'd gone online to some very fantastic machines, and this is from what was the country stuff that time? I think it was Switzerland. You know, Switzerland and Belgium. You know, all this. I put pictures, you know, made slides, you know, everything was like that. Like a big time joker, and nobody's going to put down that kind of money on somebody with no precedent, no precedent whatsoever. You're coming from the 95 and you think you can just, you know. So that was totally ridiculous. I'm highlighting this so to show how ridiculous, you know, my thinking was at the time. Do you understand? And you know, and that's the use of a mentor. He told me, he said, Femi, that is ridiculous. You know, start from where you are. How can you start? So what did I do? I looked into my account. How much did I have? How much was I saving? Okay, I had saved up, you know, and also I told my husband, like, this, you know, the Holy Spirit spoke to you. So you're already better beside this business. Do you understand? And so we began to look at, okay, what are the things we can buy? What are the things we have to do manually? And guess what? You know, God most times prepares you for whatever you're going to do here on earth. Be it, you know, whatever religion, God prepares every human being is important to God. He loves everyone. So he has prepared you for whatever you're going to come and take. You know, so he has equipped you. You might think you're not equipped for it, but he has equipped you. So most of our machines at the time, we fabricated most of it, designed it, fabricated it, because I couldn't afford machines that they were selling abroad. Do you understand? And that's how I started. I cleared out my guest room, and then I started working from there on my guest room in my house. And we will start. I'll start. I remember I would take chocolates to my office, give my staff, my colleague. They will be laughing. Hey, which one is this one again? Oh, hey, what is this again? Oh, you know, what flavor is this again? You know, and different things. And they will give you feedback. And I was noting all the feedback, everything, noting all the feedback. Oh, this is like this. The packaging. The packaging. In fact, I remember our first packaging. Take, for example, our first packaging, which I used like craft paper, like colorful craft paper, package it nicely with foil, you know. I remember when I took it, people were like, what's this one? Do you understand? Whereas there are some chocolate companies abroad that even till tomorrow, that's how their packaging is. So you need to understand your terrain. You need to understand your terrain. So it was based on the feedback from different people. We began to tweak the product, tweak it to fit taste profiles, to fit packaging, to fit, and then that's how, you know. And I also made errors in the beginning too. I remember I went to I'm going to mention the consulting firm, paid all the money that I didn't even have for them to help me do right, because I was trying to get access to some grants. The truth is that nobody can tell your story better than you. Nobody. You have to do that work. You have to pull up, roll your sleeves up, and do the work. Write the book. Feel you're in your club, it's good in crafting words, but you first of all write it down, and then let the person now tweak it, maybe, you know, for you. But you have to do the work yourself. You have to sit down, burn the midnight oil, research, you know, find out facts, because we gave the consulting company a lot of money. And at the end of the day, what the analysis was not different from what my analysis was when I did it by myself. But you know, when you're thinking that you need a big name, you know, and waste your money. If you want to start a business, something as simple as even going to the area you feel maybe that particular product or somebody that's done it before is there. Look at what people are buying. Go to shops. If they're even uncertain, go to shops and see, okay, what is going on. Carry out those researches yourself. Do you understand? Go online. Thank God, Google is everybody's phone. It's free of charge, right? Go online, look at studies. People have done a lot of studies already on different sectors, different industries. And then mentors, like you said, they're very important, because my mentor that told me that I'm a joker and pulled me back from the clouds that I was in and brought me back to real life. So you have to do the research. You have to be willing, to put in that effort. And yeah, you will make errors, but the reason why it's good for you to do it yourself, so you can the extent of the errors. Do you understand? Yourself, you have to limit it too. So and when you have mentors that you can easily call, go and see. Sometimes like my mentor too, and my mentor, this particular mentor, till sometimes 2 a.m. at night, is drilling me, is asking me questions, and back and forth discussions. Do you understand? And he also shares his own errors with me. Do you understand? So you learn from people. So mentoring, a mentor, particularly in that sort of space you want to go into. It may not be like now he's not into manufacturing of food, but he's into manufacturing. So he knows whatever challenge I'm going through, he can understand, and he can relate, and he can tell me, okay, no, this is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. These are the people you need to see. This is the way you need to think about solving this problem. Do you understand? And then I also have emotional mentors. So you have to, your mentors, how it has worked for me. I have different mentors for different things. I have mentor from the business, manufacturing, when I'm worried about, I have mentors that I do, that are emotional mentors. Do you understand? When I get emotional, because I'm an emotional being, I'm not a robot. So sometimes maybe, I've gone out there to hustle, and everything is just standing in my way, and I get emotional. I need somebody that I can talk to, that will not be telling me, get yourself together, know what you're doing, blah, 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 but somebody that can relate with me and tell me, oh, I understand how you feel. Okay, let's go have some hot chocolate and do you understand? Or let's have brunch, and then I go there, I forget about my worries for like 2 hours. We're just sipping, gisting, talking. She's sharing her own too. I'm sharing my own too, that kind of thing. And if there's not even time to go out, on the phone, you laugh, you share, you're not ashamed to be yourself, to be that emotional self. Trust me, it is very, very important. Trust me. So somebody who is much older, do you understand, who has been on that journey before, have an emotional mentor. When I tell people, they always laugh. But I'm serious, And then I also have a spiritual mentor, somebody that I discuss the Bible with and how I can apply scriptures to what I'm going through. And when I get confused, we'll debate it. Not somebody that is going to be judgmental. No, the person you'll be debating. The person allows dialogue. So there are different types of mentors. So we all need to find, well, this is what has worked for me. I have mentors for different things.
Thank you, Femi. And I think it's important that you highlighted that we need to have mentors for different phases of our lives and different segments.
Yes.
Because there's usually no one fits all. And in my own experience, and I think I should just share this. For a long time, I didn't have mentors because I just felt, oh, maybe a mentor that I should have for business has just done something in the emotional states that I'm feeling that, oh no, this person has just let me down. I had this person in high esteem. There's no perfect person. So one person might be good in the business sense, have that person as your business mentor. Another person might be good emotionally. And like Femi said, I think she's not explaining it well. I think it's most therapeutic if you have somebody that you can just unburden yourself to, who will look at you, listen to you, laugh with you, cry with you, and at the end of it all, summarize what you should do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
this is very therapeutic. There's
Very,
really,
very therapeutic.
you
You
will
know,
make a lot of errors if you don't have that kind of person, either
yes,
in a mentor or sometimes you have it as a friend. You just
yes,
think that, I want to do this, and in your head, that's the right thing to do. But then you get a second opinion, and then you see that it may not necessarily be the best. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Femi. And so, I mean, we can't have this session without talking about stereotypes and gender biases. So, in your journey, has there been any gender specific challenges that you faced as a female entrepreneur? And how did you overcome this?
Well, the truth is that I face it every day.
Oh,
I face it every day. From even dealing with cocoa farmers, the male cocoa farmers, as much as even dealing with the transporter that is moving it from, you know, outer state, Jensen, to where I am. They'll rather respond to a male voice or a male figure. And when most times when people hear my name, Femi, just assume, oh, it's a guy.
yeah, yeah.
You understand? So when they now meet me, this woman who, I'm very down to earth, I stay my mind. So they find me opinionated sometimes, and so yes, it can be a bit challenging, but trust me, there are always ways around it. So if, say, for example, now I'm trying to source from a particular farm, let's say in Ondo State now, and he is a man, I know that, yeah, you know how they are now, very. So I put my husband on the phone and he speaks Yoruba to the man. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Or I have my staff there. Okay, you relate with this person. Do you understand? Because even when you're relating in business circles, and sometimes you just feel when a woman is pursuing something and she believes in it, we're very passionate beings. They might see us as aggressive. They term it as aggression. So sometimes, having diversity in your team is also very important. So you're going to a meeting, for example, you and maybe the next person beside you is male, just to, so, it just makes them feel that, okay,
Comfortable.
particularly with the wave of, feminism, and also everybody's already being overtly careful, being overtly, do you understand? So just to create an atmosphere of, you know what, I'm not here to fight. I'm not, let's dialogue. Do you understand? Let's dialogue and come to an agreement. So in every aspect, yes, I get it sometimes. I get it sometimes. Even as something as simple as even sending a message to a man who is much older than me, he sometimes they perceive it as something else when you don't sound a certain way. I don't know how to put this.
No, please break that
Oh,
down. We need to.
okay, like they're sending a message to maybe an elderly man, who is from the East, for example, who has a certain notion about how women should relate with men. And then maybe your message is not couched in that right way, and then, he has a wrong impression about, oh, this girl, she's very rude. She doesn't. So that also something as simple as that can even translate into the way and manner you transact business with such a person, because he already has that bias about you. So it's always nice to understand the situation, like understand the person you're dealing with, and then just relate with the person based on that sort of, and don't use a blanket. Because that's where I am. Anybody else, you either take it or you leave it. As a business person, you cannot be like that. You have to be relatable. You have to look at every situation, every person in business, and relate with the person in the way and manner, that would create an agreeable atmosphere. So it's always to your own benefit on the long run.
Thanks for that. As you speak, I mean, I just what something just occurred to me to add to the curriculum, how to relate to different people, and I would add that to the curriculum and take that session later. Now, one of the things in terms of the profiles of our participants, we have quite a number of people in the food beverage space. So can you share with us? I mean, you are an expert in this area, especially in
I'm
yeah,
learning, though. I'm still
yeah,
learning.
yeah. We've seen you all over. So what are the trends and the opportunities that you see in the food space that you think our participants can latch onto, or what opportunities do you think they should explore?
Okay. I think the opportunities as well in my industry.
Okay.
In my industry, the opportunities. Um, and then this is because we all know the state of the economy at the moment. Um, we know what it is, what dollar is saying now. So imported foods are going to get to the point where it will no longer be affordable by even the middle class. That's the truth. The middle class as well. If you're earning in naira, you'll be looking to, okay, how do I ensure that I don't overshoot my budget, my monthly spend, for my house, for my home, for my children, even business. So it is something that the food industry, agriculture is something we should all look into. So I would highlight a few areas that I think I have have I've noticed. I'm like, this can be, um, interesting. So chocolate, yes, not necessarily chocolate as a snack, but chocolate as to use in the bake by bakers, confectionery houses. Do you understand? Also, uh, spread, spread, either peanut butter, mayonnaise. Because I only see imported brands for mayonnaise. I've never seen any Nigerian brand
Yeah, true.
mayonnaise. Yes, and trust me, the dollar is going up to keep on going up. Um, Also, so spreads, mayonnaise, jam. Do you understand? And then also, there's one that comes to my mind now that yes, in coconut milk,
Hmm.
coconut water. Do you understand? Because at the moment, anytime you go to the market, anytime you go to stores, so you want to make coconut rice or you want to do anything coconut flavored, your coconut milk, coconut water is always important. Have you seen any Nigerian brand?
I'm not a
But,
coconut fan, but
but at
I'm
least we now have a lot of people doing coconut shavings, coconut
yeah,
oil. Yeah, but there's water and there's milk,
true, which
you
is
know,
healthy.
which is healthy. Do you understand? And we have coconut. So really, there's
Okay.
nothing stopping us. Do you
Okay.
understand? And yeah, I think those are the top three for me that I've thought about in my head in
All right.
terms of
So
food.
we'll move swiftly because we have tons of questions. We had so many questions coming before the session. I see a lot of questions coming in now. So, ladies, quickly, if you want to ask a question, please ask in the Q&A box because those are the questions that I will take. We can't take all the questions, but I'll take as many as I can. Then also for all those watching on YouTube and even those on Zoom, make sure you complete your attendance. All right, moving swiftly, Femi, what would you say are the top 10 lessons you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey that you'd like to share with our participants?
Okay. Top
They
10.
may not be up to 10. I mean, as
Yeah.
many, really just
So
a
I think
lesson.
I think what you should note, like I think I've said it even in my conversation.
Mm.
Um uh so first of all, you need to know one, who you are as a person. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to know why you want to be an entrepreneur and why you are going into that particular industry. You need to be clear. So you need to know who you are and you need to understand why. Take for example, if I decided that I want to be an entrepreneur and the I want to go into owning a dog or animal dog house, like dog, I don't know what they call it. I can't do it. I don't like dogs. Even if there's an opportunity in that area, I cannot thrive well because I don't like animals. I don't like animals. I can't own a zoo to save my life. Even if it's billions of dollars that people are making, do you understand, through tourism in it, I can't do it. Do you understand? So you need to know. I don't like animals like that. I believe animals should stay on their own, human beings should stay on their own, but that's a different conversation. So what I'm just trying to say is you need to know yourself and you need to know your why. Your why has to be, you need to know why you are going into this and why you want to demonstrate. I noted a few things. Then also you need to understand the terrain. So your R&D has to be crisp. You need to understand the terrain. That is the terrain of the industry you're going into and also the general terrain so that you can navigate properly. Do you understand?
Okay.
Then before you even do that, after you understood, you understand yourself, you have a clear vision, what you want to do. What you want to do, is it a solution? Or you're going to be trying to force people to buy what you're selling? Do you understand?
Okay.
So are you creating a solution? Are you solving a problem? Are you solving a problem? Or you're just coming, although there's a different school of thought that look, you don't have to solve, but you have to solve a problem because that's the only time you become, you are needed, you are sought after. So you don't get frustrated. Do you understand? You understand what I'm trying to say?
I do understand.
Yes. So you need to create a solution, solve a problem. Then also, whilst you're trying to stay true to your vision, you remain focused, you also have to have an open mind. You have to be flexible. I remember when I started my journey, hey, how will I start doing tours? People come into my factory, see what I'm doing. People will steal my idea now, they will steal everything. But that was the way I was able to propel my story. My doors were open. People would come to my factory, go on tours, see how I make my chocolate. Do you understand? And that's how BBC and all what have been media houses, got interested. Who is this girl with this story? So it's a double-sided, yes. And then you need to, so the truth is this, the sky will contain everybody. There's a myth that, hey, if it's over, no. Do you know how many bakers there are in this Lagos alone? Do you know how many bakers? In fact, sometimes I'm like, how do these bakers cope? On one street alone, they're like 6. And yet people are still buying. Have you heard of anybody saying that they're not selling? Yeah, people are selling, people are making. Do you understand? So the truth is that the sky will contain everybody. So please, okay? Then please have faith. Have faith. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Like me now, I'm a realist. So in the process, I can be pessimistic in the way I view things. So have an optimist that is close to you, that is your conscience, that can speak to your conscience all the time and tell you, okay, yes, this is reality, but this is what is achievable. So if you know yourself, you know how to surround yourself with the right kind of people. So that's why it's important that you know yourself too. Do you understand? So that even your team, the kind of people you recruit as your close circle in your team is important as well. So you have to have faith. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be hopeful. Do you understand? And then even if you're afraid, please do it afraid. Even if you're afraid, do it what? Afraid. Do it, be doing it like that. You will be fine. That's the truth. Long run, you'll be what? You will be fine. Do it afraid. So even like, I'm afraid, how is this going to work? What is it? Still do it. Just outline what you need to do. Get your pencil, have a journal, outline what you want to do. Okay, these are the things, this I'm going to, but do it afraid. Don't allow fear cripple you to the point where you are not able to move. Do you understand? Even the most brightest mind, they sometimes get afraid. So there's nobody that doesn't have some sort of fear or anxiety, but the ability to overcome that fear and still do it is where courage comes in. So be courageous, do it afraid. Okay. And then lastly, never quit.
Yeah.
Never quit. So when things are coming to you like a flood, do you understand? In the midst of all of that, it may seem like it's problematic, troublesome. If you if you're calm enough, that flood and the problems can actually propel you to the
Forward.
next level, to the next thing you're supposed to achieve, to the next thing you're supposed to see. Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, you may be too close to the canvas to see the fine line. So when those troubles come, just step back first and look. So you never quit. Never. So those are just my
Thank
2
you.
cents.
Thank you so much. I mean, and as I reflect on some of the things you said, I just think about some of the other experiences other mentors have talked about, and I'm like, these things keep repeating itself again. Ladies, it's not magic. Everyone says the same thing, right? So please, let's take these cues, let's take these lessons and apply it. And don't forget what she said last. Never quit. There'll be days where you just be like, you know what, I just want to leave it and just
Yes.
abandon it all. And I mean, it reminds me of a session we had, last year where there's a particular entrepreneur who told us that she had shut down her business 7 times. She had shut it down, then she'll start again, and she did that 7 times. And today, she's a well-known entrepreneur, ladies. So please, never ever quit. So I'll take some of the questions that have come in or that came in from participants before. And I won't take some questions because if you listened well, she had answered them during a previous discussion. So this is from Michelle from Zimbabwe. And she say, what would you say is the biggest mistake you've made during your journey as an entrepreneur? And what would you do differently with what you know now? Yes.
So thank you, Michelle, for that question. But the truth is this, as an entrepreneur, you will make mistakes. Do you understand? But don't ever see it as your greatest mistake, because in future you might still make some more. So I would not say I have the greatest mistake. Do you understand? I would see it as a learning experience. Do you understand? When you make errors, it is good because you learn from it. You are bound to make errors. I think the notion that, oh, let me be careful. You can never be as careful as you can be. Do you know why? Because there's certain things that are outside your control anyway. Do you understand? So it's part of life. Is in all those errors, in all those mistakes that you actually even grow and learn. And those mistakes can even propel you to something bigger and greater than your mind could never imagine. So as I speak now, I would not sit here and tell you I've not made mistakes. I think I even highlighted one where I spent all my money, one consultant, wasted all my time. Do you understand? And there's still so many mistakes I've made even after that. Thinking about it, how I've managed maybe particular staff, a decision I should have made, so that, it shouldn't have impacted my business. But it's going to happen. But what happens is that all those ones you've done in the past, what did you do? What did you learn? What are the things you put in place to ensure that those things don't happen again? Those are the things that are important. Those are the things we should focus on.
Okay.
I hope, Michelle, I've answered your question.
I'm sure. So I have a question from Linda Adejobi from Nigeria. And she's asking, I think she said her question borders around the certification on processing of the products from Italy. So she's asking, were you trained to create chocolates in Italy or was it just a certification?
Okay, so even at the time, this Italy one was in 2018. 2018, yes. So it was just recent.
Okay.
When I was going for the training, I went with my finished product to them because I'd already started the business anyway. But I just wanted to get some sort of certification so that people will not be like, she doesn't have certification in. Did you get? It was just to feel righteousness in that sense, because most of the things, that were being taught, I'd experienced it, the mistakes that, oh, don't do this. I've gone through the mistakes and learned from it. And the truth about it is this: experiential learning is the best form of learning. So even before, and that has informed even our SOPs in the factory, because I have seen it. Any mistake my staff wants to make as I speak with you, I've already made it at some point in this journey. And that's what I was trying to explain to the person that asked the first question. It makes you actually a better, more practical entrepreneur, because you have gone through it, you know it. Nobody can come and tell you, oh, your staff or somebody come and tell you that you're telling the person that no, that's not true. So yeah, I hope I've answered this one too.
Yeah, thank you. So next question is, okay, from Zanel from Swaziland. She says, how do you overcome the risk associated with business? Especially in the field in which you are, there must be so many risks. So what risk management strategies do you put in place?
So I would say, for chocolate making, like I said, there are different angles to it. So there's a technicality of it as well, where there's your equipment. I'm just highlighting one example. Your equipment and all, you have to have a technical person on ground, because it is not a terrain that is common. So to find people that understand it, even the machines, the way they operate, most times they have to source, human resource from abroad, to be able to, but no. So we found somebody here who is a technical consultant to us, and he is the one. So your risk in terms of downtime, downtime is what I'm talking about, I'm highlighting now. Downtime, because that's the biggest risk for a manufacturer, where you are not able to process, you're not able to manufacture. Is terrible, because you are losing money, and you're losing money. You have dissatisfied customers. You need to stay relevant in the market. People need to be able to find you. Availability. Your brand needs to be out there. So downtime is actually a no-no for a manufacturer. So you have to find resources locally, and if you have to spend money in terms of training, you need to be able to cover such gaps. It's very, very important.
Okay, so we have another question from Funlaya James from Nigeria, and she's saying she wants to go into pure water and bottled water production, and she does not have the skill, neither does she have the funds. Where should she start from?
Get the skill first.
Okay.
Go and do I don't know, maybe internship or volunteer job, weekend jobs. You're working in a pure water plant. There are so many, right? There are many. Just go and do internship and see how they make it. All this. Take your notes, observe. Do you understand? Learn. So from there, you gain experience. Do you understand? And then small, maybe through savings, you begin to charter your way to starting that sort of business. It might not be immediate, because obviously you don't have the skill and you don't have the fund, but you need to start from somewhere. And then perhaps, if that's what you want to do, perhaps you may have to think of something you can do in the immediate that can give you money, that would channel and help you pursue that dream of making water, bottled water, and pure water.
Thank you.
Something like an easy win.
Way.
I don't know. Yes, like an easy, like lowest hanging fruit. Something you can easily do. Maybe trading as opposed to manufacturing, buying and selling. Yeah, something that can give you, money so you can pursue that. Because trust me, yeah, that is some sort of manufacturing itself. So that will take time, just and to grow and to build. But when you're doing trading, you're buying and selling. It's faster. It's faster.
I also want to add to the fact that I like the approach of starting with trading because you also then get to understand the market and the consumers. So that by the
Mm.
time you are producing, you have a good understanding of what the market is asking for, what the consumers want, what the nuances are, what the distribution channels are. So you have a good understanding. And then when you're producing a solution that is solving the problems or the gaps that exist in that market. So that's why I like that approach of going into trading first. So we have another question from Esther Chinwa from Malawi, and she's saying that are you looking to working with other chocolatiers in Africa?
Yes, yes, on the long run, yes, yes,
Okay.
definitely. Um, would there was an idea that came to my mind in the latter part of 2020. Yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay. All right. So we have a question from Mercy. She didn't, I think she's from South Africa. She didn't put the country there, but this surname looks like a South African surname. So she's asking, so in the video you had mentioned about you worked for 1 year in a cocoa processing plant. Can you tell us, explain more about this? So were you still working in HR then, or this was before you started
No, no,
your
no.
HR?
Oh no, I didn't work in a cocoa processing plant. No,
Oh,
no.
oh, okay.
So whilst I was working and the idea was birthed, I was still working. I didn't just quit my job. Immediately the idea was birthed in my head.
Okay.
So I used like a year and a half to do what you call R&D. You need to understand, like I said, understand your environment. Understand because what may work when you go and do your research and you see maybe a company in Belgium, what may work in Belgium may not work here. I give an example of something as simple as our packaging style. When I started making the chocolate in my guest room, when the idea was birthed, and I was doing R&D, and like I said, it was experiential learning. And I package the chocolate and I give my colleagues. They judge the chocolate immediately from the way it's packaged because they don't want to craft packaging. I'm like, what are you talking about here? Do you understand? Like, what is this? No wrapping paper, but the paper type. So we just wrapped it in the paper type, put a nice sticker on it. They're like, what's this? Do you understand it? Do you understand? So you need
Yeah.
to little things like that, you know, you know, channel you, how would I put it, put you on the right stead as to the direction to go. You're understanding your market. You're doing all of those things. So, like I said, when the idea was birthed, I was still in the 9 to 5. I did not hop out of my job immediately. I was still working 9 to 5, come back from work, enter Nigerian traffic, maybe get to my house like 6:30, you know, get into my guest room, make dinner for my kids, because I even had, at that time, I had like a 3-month-old baby then. Talking, get the family set, put a baby monitor, then go to the guest room, and then try my hands on different things. I'll work like that. So maybe like 2, sleep. So it was tedious, yes, but I needed to do it because I needed to see if this idea in my head was doable or not. Do you understand? So I didn't work in a cocoa
Oh,
um,
processing.
processing. No, 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 no. Then, no, I didn't.
Okay. All right. So Lina's asking, being a pioneer in this industry, with a challenge with government policies and restrictions, how, especially when you were starting, how did you navigate through these? Because really, I mean, I know so many people, and even me as an individual, there's some businesses I did not go to because I just thought, you see, these government regulations, I don't have the with. So how did you navigate this when you were starting, particularly?
Okay, so When I started really, really, really small. Like I said, I started in my guest room. I remember I got my first cocoa bag from a missionary in Irua in Oyo State, a female missionary. She owned a cocoa farm, small scale, very small scale cocoa farm. I remember I would have to travel to Oyo State with my car, yes, just and get a bag, then and I began to sample, the beans, learn the flavors, the roast at this level. Oh, so it was like a lab, a small lab. Okay, this flavor, I'll make chocolate on that particular roasting profile. Oh, people doing be like, oh, a bit this, a bit that, is it? Go back again. So do you understand what I'm trying to say? He was really hands-on.
Yeah,
Now for government at that level of of business, no government knows you.
scale.
Yeah, in your house. So what are you afraid of? What government is coming to do for you in your house? Do you understand? Yeah. So that is the benefit of starting where you are, particularly when you're entering an environment that you don't understand. Just imagine if I was opportune to get maybe one ridiculous grant and I just gone like that, gotten a very big space, gotten, and then I'll be doing on that sort of level, sort of still doing, as Yoruba would say, a yoje, meaning chance, take your chance. No, you can't do that. So let's enjoy the small thing. So if you're starting small, for example, in your home, maybe you're thinking of owning a big bakery in the future. Start from your house first and see. That way, you learn what your customers really want. You learn where you can position your brand such that you have a unique value proposition. Do you understand? All those things is that learning process that gives government is not going to come and look for you at that point. They don't know who you are. They're still too small for them to notice. Do you understand? When they begin to notice you, trust me, you already understand the dynamics, how to navigate such waters when you get to that point. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, Oluwadunni Solaja is asking, do you have a case where your product life cycle did not conform to plan, and how did you overcome this?
And then please take that question again.
Okay, I'm also not sure. So she said, have you ever had a case where your product's life cycle? So I think what she's trying to say, where you've planned. I mean, in producing chocolates, there must be like a schedule of you do this, you do this, you do this. So have you had a case where it didn't conform to the plan, and how did you resolve this?
Okay, if let me look at that question in relation to what I do. Didn't follow the life cycle. You are the one that determines the life cycle of your processing. So that's where documentation comes in. Hello?
Yeah, I
Hello?
think that's actually the answer. Having an SOP. We can hear you.
Yes. So you are the one that determines how the life cycle per stage of how you want to process or make your product. And that's why when it's experiential learning, you're able to see the pitfalls and able to develop a proper SOP, a standard operating procedure that is independent of you. Right now, I'm in my house. I'm having a meeting with you at 2:00. I'm not in my factory. There was a time in the life of this business that I was in my factory every day till 2 a.m. But now, the moment in your second, third year, or your third year, you are still, by your third year, you are still having to be the one in the factory for money. You're not getting it right. Your SOP has to be detailed. It has to identify the critical points. Do you understand? The pitfalls. Do you understand? The and be idiot proof. Do you understand? So for anybody to so that anybody can use it as a template for operation. So we call it idiot proof. Do you understand? So even if the person is a total idiot.
I like that term, idiot proof, so that anyone would understand it. And even as you document your processes, you need to have that mindset to say, if an idiot picks this up, will they be able to understand? I mean, forgive us for the use of the word idiot, but you all understand what I'm trying to say.
Like idiot proof, yes. It's just like now when you buy a colored printer, for example, there are like 4 different cartridges. Do you know that you cannot put the black ink cartridge into the pink or red? It will not accept it. So that's what you call idiot proof in manufacturing. So it has to be, your SOPs has to be idiot proof, such that human error is limited to the almost plus or minus 2%. Do you understand?
Yeah.
As much as possible. Okay. I learned the hard way, but I learned it. So I'm thinking that's what the lady is asking.
Yeah.
You need to, every stage of your business, every stage, you need to put standard operating procedures for everything, even as little as cleaning, as in cleaning of your workspace or work area or factory or whatever. Yes.
Okay, Femi, let me prepare you, because the next 2 questions are what I call jam questions. So this one, Florence is saying, you talked about channeling your spiritual life into your physical life. Now she's asking, if you've done this and you're not getting results, what do you do?
So, the truth is that sometimes it happens where you are trying so hard to channel everything together so everything is the same. Then you may need external help. And that's where mentors come in. That's where mentors come in. You may have a spiritual mentor. Do you understand? You may have a business mentor, or even just a friend. So the ability to be open and to be in that space, you are vulnerable to that person, and you can share with the person your concerns, your anxieties without holding back. Do you understand? Even as a business mentor, is very, very important, because sometimes, yes, there's a misalignment where you are because you are looking at it, and it might not be something as simple as looking at it in one way, which is not the answer. So you need somebody else to look at it for you, to look to, somebody you can trust, somebody you feel, and hear and weigh in, do you understand, on their opinion.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So the next question.
I'm sorry, a call came.
Okay, that's fine. Next
So what was I saying? So it's not as if you take what they're saying, hook, line, and sinker.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so it's not like you should take what they are saying, hook, line, and sinker, but you should just at least, they're able to weigh in on whatever you're going through, and then you begin to, look at what opinions, what, comments they've made, what suggestions, what advice, and then, that could create, like, give you, shed more light into the situation in that sense. So this is where mentors are very, very, very important.
Okay, fantastic. So the next question is from Marceline. She's asking, Femi, do you experience imposter syndrome?
Oh, yes.
Without blinking.
Yes. Yes. And that's because, sometimes I see all the things, pioneer, chocolate industry, this, that, and then maybe I visit my factory, and something simple that I feel I should have known, or I should have overcome this, is happening, and I begin to question that. Do you understand? I begin to, it's normal. It is normal. When you're having imposter syndrome, it's normal. Don't see it as a big deal. Is the, like my kids will say, oh, mommy, is the monster in your head? Yes.
Woo.
We all have monsters in our head that tries to, suggest those negative thoughts to us. And the more we give it attention, the monster grows. But the less attention we give it and feed our minds with positive things, the monster becomes small, and then we get bigger. So it's just a monster in our head. It's not a big deal. Do you understand? The imposter syndrome happens to, if trust me, the most successful people have experienced it sometimes. Like, okay, so now, because now there's a lot of expectation, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that, but no, it's fine. We all have to bear in mind that, first of all, we're human. We're not like gods. We're not immortal. We're not like some eternal being. We're human, and yeah. So yeah. So don't, if you have imposter feelings, it's not a big deal. If I do, by the time the feeling comes, I'm like, I just shut it down. But it comes, definitely, yeah.
Okay. So I have another question from Nanjala, and she's asking, how was the market reception, especially for a locally produced chocolate, in competition with known brands? What was what competitive advantage did you have, and how did you make your market your product fit into the market?
So I started with creating an awareness. Not necessarily, it was more of educational awareness. So I was speaking to the minds of people, educating them on what chocolate really is. Most times you eat chocolate, you don't even know what's inside it, you're just eating it because it's sweet. The major ingredient that makes chocolate is actually not sweet. Do you understand? Okay. So I started with, like if you even go on all my social media platforms and all, where I started educating people on the bean itself. What makes cocoa bean special? What are the health benefits of cocoa? Do you understand? And then we used the strategy of creating credibility in the market. Okay. Do you understand? Where people see your process, they know you're not doing anything fishy, and then they give it a try.
Okay.
So trust me, even till tomorrow, you still get some people say, oh, please, I don't want any of those Nigerian chocolates. Can you give me just imported chocolate? Yeah. So that's fine. It's okay. Do you understand? But what I just try to tell people is that, look, if you do not grow your own, how do you want your economy to really grow? If you don't encourage entrepreneurs here and buy homegrown things, how do you want the economy to grow? Looking at it,
okay,
in a practical manner. So to answer our question, we started educating people on the benefits of cocoa. We started educating people on how we make our own chocolate. We don't put, any other thing inside apart from cocoa, milk, sugar. So they get the full benefit and the health benefits also. We started like that, educating people on the health benefits of cocoa, why our chocolate is different, just and our unique value proposition, etc. And then we started getting people buy into the idea that, okay, I can have something yummy but healthy. I can have something good made here using homegrown cocoa, and it still, can compete with international brands. And yet, international brands, if you check the ingredients, you find all sorts of things inside. Whereas this brand doesn't have any of those things. And this is something people have come to our factory, they've done tours. So it's not hidden, it's what we do, it's who we are. Do you understand? So, and that's what even fueled the vision of the company in the first place, to create, good quality chocolate that are healthy, that do not contain additives or preservatives. So it's a lot of storytelling. People are looking for, they are being conscious about what they eat now. There's sustainability, there's value add, there's traceability, the farms where we get our cocoa from. Not just some random chocolate bar that you don't know where it's coming from. So you need to be able to, understand, first of all, what the value you're bringing, that unique value that your product, has, and then educate customers on it. Because some people don't know. People actually don't. Do you understand? And then whilst you are doing that, you find out that there will be some customers that will care and some customers that do not even still care, which is fine. But let the ones that care, let them be your buyers. Do you understand? There's some people that care, but some people that just even don't give, they don't really care. But the ones that care, let them be your buyers. The ones that are even that may not even necessarily be chocolate eaters, but the fact that it is homegrown here, made here, that's what I'm buying. So there's you build a community, a cult of people that are your sales rep, even when you're not there. So that is very important. So it's just educating customers, creating awareness. When Greek, it's just about 2 or 3 years ago, Greek yogurt became a big thing.
Yeah.
What yogurt were we drinking? Super, what's that one? Super yogurt. Super yogurt. Do you get? But now Greek yogurt in tubs is what it is now. You go to shops, you go, and which is a good market, because for crying out loud, we have a lot of cows, and because we've not been able to process our own milk, but at least with that, we find a lot of people. That's also an industry I forgot to mention, Shay. That's also an industry that is good too.
Okay.
Why can't we buy, fresh milk in big jars?
That is one question I've always asked, because anytime I travel, that's one thing that makes me travel, the fact that I want fresh milk. And I've asked some questions. Someone said, okay, the kind of cows that we have, this is for Nigerians though, that the cows we have in Nigeria don't produce, the milk production rate is not commercially viable. So that's the answer that I have been given,
But why is that? That means we're not doing the right farming practices.
So I think it has to do with the kind of breed of cows. I'm not sure now, but I know I did ask those questions. That was the response I got, that, there's a specific, just like you have different species of plants, there's a specific breed of cow that helps you to maximize, your returns on milk. And that's as much as I can say. Because yes, it was an area of interest.
Yes, so it's just how far we're willing to go, to be honest. How far we're willing to go.
Okay. So I have another question, from, no, I can't pronounce the name. I'm going to murder it. But let me just go ahead and ask. Are you running the business alone, or you're in a partnership?
I actually run the business.
Okay.
I'm not joined with any partner, but I would say my family, my husband and I. Okay. Or like no outsider. Well, okay. Not yet. I'm open to. We've had a lot of people, investors approach that want to partner, but you have to have the right alignment, for such. Yes.
All right. So we have another question from Liz. We have so many questions. Gosh. But we would end in 15 minutes, ladies, not more. So we have a question from Liz. How do you balance family and the business and keep both selling well? So how do you balance both family and business? The multi-million dollar question.
Yes, it is. Right now I have an 8-year-old, who's going to be 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And trust me, yeah, it's challenging. But initially, when I first started the business, what I used to do was I would take them to the factory. So I created like a space, because they were much younger then. So I created a space in my factory where there was a bit of TV, their toy area, and then their nanny would be there with them. Because me, I've always been paranoid leaving my kids, so they'll be with me all the time. Sometimes, till late, they'll be with me. We get home, I'll have to take their shower, then settle them. So yeah, they enjoyed that that part of my life with me, you know. So now they're a bit older, so what we do is that, okay, weekends is dedicated to them. Uh, uh, I'm still very hands-on with them. Their school, because they're still doing online schooling. So I just create, I'm very present. So and that's the advantage of building structure and system. Because when you do that, it affords you time for the things that are important to your family. But if you don't build the structure and you don't put in the right system in place, you would not have time for that. You would continue to always have to be in your business for things to move. But if you look at great businesses that have done well, the owners are not necessarily there every day. Do you understand? So you have to step back. You cannot run it like a sole proprietorship. No, a business that is going to survive and go and outlive you, you have to. I know it's hard, but you have to learn to step back and delegate. Those people you're delegating to, they would make errors too, which is fine. And that will help you also fine-tune your processes, fine-tune your structure. It is very, very important. That's the only way to have that balance. That is the only way.
Okay, so we have Adama from Sierra Leone asking that. So do you have any training for someone who would like to learn from you?
Well, a lot of people have asked me, I've not started training yet. And that the reason is not because I'm not open to training. It's just that at the time where I am right now, that will be some sort of a huge distraction for the business right now. What I can do is I've decided that this year, sometime maybe from third quarter of the year, I'm going to open like a channel,
Okay.
like a blog or channel where so that one, I'm not having to commit to classroom in that sense, but I'll be able to share knowledge and share my experiences, and then people can just
Learn from there.
from there, yes. Pending when I have, because it has to be done properly. If you're going to own a training school for it, it has to be done properly. It has to be not just one funny, no, it has to be done. It has to be a facility for that, such that people learn in the right sort of environment. So they learn the right thing in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll just take three more questions. Really, it's
Three
been,
more.
yes, we have so many questions. I'm just going to pick any three that my eyes catch. Okay, so Sarah is asking, you talked about having different mentors. How do you select the right mentor?
In our journey of life, we meet a lot of people. Nothing happens by chance. That's my own understanding, and that's my belief. So when you meet, you're gonna have the opportunity to meet a lot of people. By the way, let me bust your bubble. There was somebody I was looking at. I wanted this woman to be my mentor. I wanted her to be my mentor. I approached her, but she was very cold towards me. Do you understand? So sometimes those people you look up to, like, oh, these are the people, this kind of person might not necessarily be predisposed to you, or might not necessarily at that time in their lives, they're not ready to take on more people. So they appear less friendly or whatever. But in your journey in life, God is fair to everyone. He will bring people to you. You will meet diverse people. And that's why I say you have to be open-minded. You will meet diverse people, and then you begin to identify, in the process, people that can meet certain needs in your life as mentors. You would see there might not be names, like, names that are, one name. I don't want to mention names here. They might just be everyday people who are maybe they own their businesses are doing fine, but they're not out there. they're not everywhere that everybody knows them. Do you understand? But they would tell you, they would teach you, they will be open to you, they will answer your question. Do you understand? So you need to, yes, so you need to have an open mind. Don't be fixated on certain people in that sense. Don't be fixated that, oh, it has to be this particular person because I'm in this industry. That person, that man, that woman. No. And then you find the people that are actually will value add to you. You'll find them. Like my emotional mentor is not one person that is. My spiritual mentor, if I mention her name, you don't know her. Nobody knows her. My emotional, nobody knows him or her. Even if I mention to you who my mentor is for my business, manufacturing, he's in public service here, but he's not known. He's not, as in, like, nobody knows him. No, if I even tell you, like, hey, you have to go and start researching, Googling. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So what I'm just trying to say is that you need to not be fixated.
Don't necessarily go out for big names.
Sorry?
Don't necessarily go out for big names.
No, apart from big names, don't be fixated on a particular person because that person is in your industry.
Okay.
You can learn from people that are even authors of books. Do you understand? And the person can actually be your mentor because the person's books speaks to you.
Speak to you.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay. So which two questions will make it? So yes. So we have a question from Proscovia, and she's asking, how do you determine the pricing of your products?
This is very important. So when we put our prices, people told us that, oh, you have outpriced yourself out of the market. People will not patronize you. But you need to understand pricing in the sense that if you're selling a product, you have taken your costs of your raw materials, and then your cost of production, and you don't have profits inside, then you have not priced your product well, even if your people are buying your products off the shelf. That means your business is not profitable. Do you understand? So you have a healthy profitability margin should not be anything less than 15 to 18%. If it is less than that, it's a problem because it's out of that 15 to 18%, you're going to plow some back into growing the business. You're going to plow some back into saving for a rainy day for the business. Do you understand? So your pricing, even if you want to be competitive, it's good to be competitive, don't get me wrong. But also you need to understand your product. If you are catering to a mass market, for example, your pricing cannot, your type of product cannot be a niche type of product for a mass market. I don't know if you understand. That's a misalignment. Are you getting me? If your product is a mass product, let's say you want to do Gary, for example, packaged Gary, small sachet. That's a mass product. You cannot sell small sachet of Gary, no matter the kind of, even if you want to say it is Jebu Gary, which is the best Gary. You cannot price it like you're pricing a small sachet of maybe, let me see something that is like luxury. Maybe even chocolate.
Yeah,
the premium milk chocolate. Do you understand? You can't price it. There are two different types of products. So if you are making chocolate, for example, that is mass market, you cannot be doing my own style processing. You would lose. Because my product is not a mass product. It's not a mass market product. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Yes. So you need to understand your products. There are some chocolates that are mass products, as in mass. Do you understand? The sort of raw material you're going to use for that sort of product is different from product. So that's what determines your price point. That's what I said earlier. When you're starting your business, you need to define what sort of product or what sort of market you want to play in. What sort of product do you want to do? And that will inform everything. It will inform the sort of raw material you use. It will inform the sort of facility you're going to take. It will inform a whole lot of things. Even your location of your facility. It will inform it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because there's some areas that are high rent, some areas that are, please, why are you having a mass product? You're creating a mass product and your factory space is in Victoria Island. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
The cost of rent alone will wipe off your margins.
So for a mass product sort of thing, you have to go to the interland, like you go to, Ibadan Expressway, find a place there, to produce. Do you understand? You go to the far out places where your cost is low. If the product is a mass product, you're not going to be using premium ingredients to make them. It's not possible. Let's look at it. Let's be realistic. I'm a manufacturer, I know. You're not going to do that because the numbers will not add up. They wouldn't add up, and then you'll get frustrated. So you need to know where you want to position. If you are positioned for a mass product, and then if it's a mass product, then you must pursue it properly. I need to be able to access it from any shop. As you don't, it's not the product that, okay, you're looking at, oh, I want to place it in it. No. Because if you even place it in the wrong market, in the wrong avenue for the audience you're looking for, it will not sell. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I do.
So you have to position it properly. You position it, maybe they sell it in traffic. You position it, the malams have it readily available to be sold. You take it to the high market, to open market. That is, if you're in Nigeria, Eco, for example, it should be there. You should, every store in Eco must have that product. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because it's a mass product, and mass products only do well in huge volumes. So you must understand that. But if you are doing a product which is either mid-tier or high-end, you need even mid-tier. The strategies for mid-tier is totally different from high-end. Totally different from high-end. That's why you can never see original, not all these fake ones though. Original LV bag. Please, can you find it in even a nice store here? Let me say a nice store here that sells bags. You can't find it. They are found in the high-end premium. Yes, because it has to be positioned properly. But if you're a mid-tier brand, let's say the fashion industry, mid-tier brand like a Zara, like Zara that has come to my mind, Zara, Mango, all those mid-tier brands, even they position themselves properly. So they are not mass market. Are they mass market? They're not now.
Not at all.
So you need to position yourself properly. And then that, once you have defined your brand, what you want to do, the product or service you want to offer, and you are positioned, then that will determine your pricing, because you can't use mass ingredients and then be selling it as a luxury brand. No. After a while, your customers would know. Even if your customers will know. They'll fish you out at some point. Do you understand? So you have to position your product properly. So it's a fine line with price and positioning. It's a fine line. But first of all, you need to know what sort of product that you are trying to create. So that would inform your next steps.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask this final question, right? Because I can't take any more questions. So what would be your parting words for our participants? You said so much, so much that, we had over 36 questions coming live, and we had like another 20 questions that had come in before, but you said so much that covered most of the questions. So, but in all of this, what will not then be your parting shot to our participants?
Well, what I would just say is, like I tell myself, Femi, dream big. If your dreams are not big enough to scare you, then you're not dreaming big, Femi. If your dreams, you can still understand it and phantom it, and you're not afraid, then you're not dreaming, you're not having those big dreams. Let your dreams scare you. Let them, when you're thinking about it, you're like, jiggy, let it scare you, like, because that is when you dream big like that, you're aiming for the sky, you're aiming for, so you're dreaming really big, bigger than yourself. That is when there's a book I read. There's one book. It's called the 10x rule. I don't know who has read it. So you see me, I have I'm underlining a lot of things. I take notes in the book. It's 10x, so times 10. So when you're dreaming, think of it times 10, times 100, whatever you're thinking, times 10. The effort you're putting in, times 10. If what Sharon would do is X, for you to excel, it has to be 10x. If Sharon is dreaming X, for you to dream bigger than yourself, it has to be 10x. So dream bigger than yourself. Dream big. Because it's when your dreams scare you, then you are dreaming big, and then you can achieve those dreams. Yes. But if it's something that is easily achievable, then it's not a dream. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Femi. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here.
The chats have been, burning with a lot of appreciation, with the points that you have shared, with the lessons and I think above all, what everyone can relate with, or what I particularly appreciate, is the fact that you were very down to earth and practical. Nothing fluffy, practical steps that our ladies can take and fly with, and then just run with it. Thank you so much, Femi. We truly appreciate it. We wish you all the best. There's a comment that and I'm not just going to take that comment to say, and I can't remember I can't find it, but let me just recall it. The person had said that at the stage in which your business is, you should be looking at franchising. What are your thoughts towards this? You need to be looking at franchising. Yeah.
It's something that we're looking at, but the business has to get, and that's where when you're in business, you need to understand the season. You need to understand, and if you do things before the right time, you enter into trouble. We've considered that, but there's certain milestones we need to achieve first before we can exploit. But definitely, yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much, Femi. We've taken too much of your time. We've almost spent 2 hours here for something that was just supposed to be a 90-minute session. Thank you so much. We do not take this for granted, and we indeed wish Luscious Chocolate all the best in the future. Ladies, if you have not tasted Luscious Chocolate, please, where can they get Luscious Chocolate to buy?
So at the moment, we are stocked across all the branches of Ibana, and then you could also go to our Instagram page and order, or on our website. We're also in game. So at the moment, we're not at the international duty free because of all the COVID and everything. But we'll get back there again once everything is fully operational. Yeah.
Okay. And ladies outside of Nigeria, don't worry. She'll soon start exporting her chocolates, and then you'll have a taste of the awesomeness that she sells, in chocolate. I don't like chocolate. I'm not a chocolate person, but the day I tasted her chocolate, I was blown away, and I bought some for my children. Thank you so much, Femi, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
It was a pleasure.
All right, ladies, we will send you emails, and I'll get in touch with you via Telegram on the next steps. Thank you.